Not many people know this, but Four Kitchens won an Emmy.
That's
Like
wild.
Four Kitchens won an Emmy for work that we did for, I think, the Jimmy Fallon show's website. And that was very important, very big news. But that happened before I joined Four Kitchens. So we're talking about like 9 or 10 years ago now.
Mm.
That, while that's a cool, fun fact to have, it's not something that's current because it's going to be like, oh, well, what did you win it for? It's like, oh, yeah, the Jimmy Fallon site from a decade ago. Like suddenly it's less relevant. And so it's time to, you know, automate like the sunsetting of that old content so that it's not creating problems because goodness, as recently as like 4 or 5 years ago, believe it or not, winning an Emmy caused a problem. Like we would have like people reaching out to us to sell us services. And we would be like, oh, that service sounds really good. Give us a walkthrough. And they would walk through the service. And then they would tell us the price. And we're like, whoa, we can't afford that. Um, and they're like, well, wait a minute. You won an Emmy. We're like, wait a minute. You're obviously thinking that we have Hollywood money and we
Hmm.
have digital website agency money, which is
Yeah.
still good money. But like Hollywood's in an entirely different stratosphere.
Yeah, totally. That's so interesting. So if I'm a business owner and I'm looking through this today, and maybe I'm not, right? Maybe I'm not an author, but I have people on my team that are, and we're rethinking our website. Let's say it's been on Squarespace or Wix or something else, right? Something more simple. And the reality is, our organization, we've got so much content, and the site is just naturally going so much slower. And I've seen that like on a ton of Wix sites where you just
Mhm.
add more blogs, more pages, and it's just not a great platform anymore. And people on my team are disagreeing between Drupal, Magneto, and WordPress and all these different things. And I'm just like, I don't even know what any of this is. All right, this is all just literally, it's all a different language to me. If What considerations, like three things, should I be looking at to help make this decision?
Absolutely. So three things to help make this decision is that you want a content management system that has a user interface that is easily understood for creating content. So now that varies by like team. So like, I mentioned earlier about like one client hating Gutenberg and other clients loving Gutenberg and WordPress. Like you have to have an editor that jives with your work style. The second thing that you need is you need a content management system that is going to make it easy to manage that content. And so what I mean is you want to like not have to think about all of the complicated shit that goes with building websites.
Mm.
Like there are a variety of modules in Drupal to provide like, meta information and meta previews, like showing you what a SERP widget would look like a search engine, like what it would look like in a search result. That can be added to the website so that like whenever you're typing stuff up and entering in metadata, you actually see what people are going to get instead of just, you know, entering another field or forgetting about it. So you want your content management system to help you with that invisible labor and to either remind you of it or to help promote you to help you make sure to fill out that information and provide that information, you know? And the third thing that I would say that you need to look for in a content management system, this is going to be weird, but it's how do you get from that content management system to the next thing? Like, what is the next thing after? Okay. Like, I've known, so I help my wife with her personal website and she decided to do it in Wix. And she built it in Wix and she's like, okay, she's like, I want to change it. I want to do some things with it. And I'm like, all right, well, we can export the data and import it somewhere else and do something new with it. Well, Wix doesn't work that way. Wix is like a big layout engine, and I can't just export like the articles from it or export the pages because that's not how it's structured. And so that meant that when my wife needed a new website, we had to copy and paste every page over.
Wow.
which was a pain in the ass. Which, now that's only like about, for her website, it was about a dozen pages, and that wasn't a big problem. But if you have a business and you have tens of pages, hundreds of pages, thousands of pages, you
Mm.
have to start thinking about like what happens later,
Yeah.
not necessarily going from like Drupal to WordPress or WordPress to Drupal, but thinking like, if I ever need to switch systems because I'm not happy with the direction that this is going, what can I do with that data?